Hello cappers, this is Shannon. I apologize my second video took so long to come out. I was volunteering to do some private hurricane relief efforts for Hurricane Irma. So we didn't see that coming and it delayed the second video coming out. Hopefully from this point forward I will be on a regular schedule. I want to talk about my experience in the Civil Air Patrol, what I did, why I left, and so forth. I was fortunate to have been the squadron commander for the Spartanburg Composite Squadron for 4 years. Now, the Spartanburg Composite Squadron is not a big squadron. As a matter of fact, it was one of the smaller squadrons in the wing. I will say this. No Civil Air Patrol commander in Civil Air Patrol's history has ever had a more dedicated group of folks that worked harder than what I had at Spartanburg. Those guys were excellent. So it's fond memories. One of my friends in the squadron one time remarked, we would look back several years from now and think about how great these days were and how wonderful of a group of people we had. This is true. Now, being commander of Spartanburg Composite Squadron also means the squadron commander commands the Wing Glider program because the glider for South Carolina is based at Spartanburg. These guys in the squadron worked very hard to make this glider program a success, and they did it year after year during the summer, Saturday after Saturday. Now, I got some kudos that I really didn't deserve because this group of guys worked so hard, but being the squadron commander, I got the recognition for it. And it was not me, it was this group of guys. I received 2 Meritorious Service Awards, and I appreciate them. However, I didn't earn them. The squadron earned the awards. I also was an airborne photographer, scanner, and mission observer. I used to teach all of those positions in the aircraft. When I joined Civil Air Patrol, I joined to fly. And I did in those positions. That's all I ever wanted to do. So if one looked at my 101 card, one would see anything else on it was incidental. I concentrated in aviation. Not throwing off on the ground team guys or anybody else. The mission-based guys, that wasn't my thing. I wanted to be in the airplane. Now, I got some pretty cool opportunities in CAP. Many of you know about the Fertile Keynote mission. That is a mission that Civil Air Patrol flies where we serve as airborne targets for Homeland Security exercises. So we go off, we fly around, fighters come up and intercept us. We penetrate an imaginary temporary flight restriction area. They come up, they guide us away or do whatever they do. And I will not give a lot of operational details about that. One thing we didn't do in South Carolina was to counter drug mission. The reason we didn't do that in South Carolina was because the National Guard in South Carolina has Lakota helicopters and they flew those missions primarily. But I loved my time in Civil Air Patrol. I met some of the finest people I have ever met in my life, the most giving people that one could ever see or ever meet inside of Civil Air Patrol. Met a few 8-balls too, but predominantly I was very impressed with the membership. The cadet programs in Civil Air Patrol are awesome. They provide opportunities for quality young people that they otherwise could not receive. And it was a privilege to watch some of these cadets come in green, and by the time they aged out of the program, to be highly trained, highly qualified to take the next step in their life, whether it be college or a military academy, the job force, or the military. And I really enjoyed watching these young people mature and acquire new skills. It was an unexpected treat. When I joined Civil Air Patrol, I didn't think I would like being around cadets. And that was one of the most exciting parts of being in Civil Air Patrol for me. The reason I left Civil Air Patrol: I do financial, economic, and political commentary, and I'm getting somewhat public with it. And I have another YouTube channel that's done very, very well. It's not fair for me to place the command staff of my wing in a position where they will one day get a phone call, "He said what?" Because let's be honest, if I'm connected with Civil Air Patrol as an active member, I am somewhat limited on how I can approach certain issues. I did not want that limitation. And number two, I respect the command staff of the South Carolina wing enough not to put them in a position where they will be caught in the middle. Particularly the current wing commander of South Carolina. Awesome guy. So this was not, I hate Civil Air Patrol, I left. I would love to have stayed, but it's not going to be possible given my other professional activities. Plus, I need the time. Next video, we are going to talk about what happens when Civil Air Patrol responds to a disaster. We all know what's shown on the news, and that does happen. What's typically not covered on press releases in the news are the guys and gals behind the scenes doing thankless grunt work for hours on end. Everybody wants to see the airplanes lift off, but the amount of people it requires to fly those sorties that never step to the aircraft. And I want to highlight those people. They're the unsung heroes. Now, I was one of the guys that stepped to the aircraft, and I always found it kind of interesting that that got the publicity, and that's what people thought of when Civil Air Patrol responded. But there was a lot more to it, and a lot more people working very hard behind the scenes, and I want to give those positions, not individual people, but those positions some recognition. And then we are going to move into various topics dealing with Civil Air Patrol, my opinion, and so forth. Most of it's going to be good, some of it's going to be bad, and when we get to the fraud portion, which will be about the end of November, we are going to go in depth where fraud, corruption, abuse, and waste happen. And unfortunately, it does happen to some degree within the program. Hopefully we can shine a light on it while at the same time being a cheering squad for the 90 to 95% of what Civil Air Patrol does right. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully I'll be back with you in a couple of days. God bless you.